Over the summer, I was given a project to study, and mine was the Large Hadron Collider Forward Detector. It was to recreate and simulate some results they previously had to work on high-energy astrophysics. I found it very helpful in trying to get a good grasp of what physics is really like outside in the real world. And it kind of feels like you're getting a taste for what your career could be like.
The summer research placements, they were conceived a few years ago when we were discussing how we could reward our best students here in Leeds. And what we came up with was the idea of the summer research placements. And what it is, in fact, is that our students, we've got about 10 or 20 places every year, work for 8 to 10 weeks here in Leeds in the department to work on a physics project and get paid for it. And in a way, it's a win-win situation for both students and staff. On the one hand, the students, they get to learn more about physics research and get to know the staff a little bit better as well, because mostly they see the staff as teachers. And on the other hand, the staff wins because they get to work with our best students.
I think the summer placement scheme is absolutely fantastic. It gives the students an opportunity to come into the laboratories, the research, to meet PhD students, postdoctoral students, academic staff, to get really integrated into the research group culture and to find out firsthand what doing research is like, what if they want to spend their career, or gives them the opportunity to say, is this what I want to spend my career doing, working at the research sort of front end. And so I think it gives the students an experience. For the academic staff, it gives them a chance to get to know the students a lot better than just sitting in a lecture format or in tutorials even, because it's a closer working relationship and it's over a prolonged period of time. So I think it's an excellent opportunity for the students and for the academic staff.
Here at Leeds, I've done 2 summer placements. My first one was studying the transport properties of carbon nanotubes. So it's how they conduct electricity over varying temperature ranges. And my second one was studying molecular tunnel junctions. So this was taking the magnetic read heads that we have in hard drives and replacing the insulating barrier in there with molecular components, which is a big thing because these things are better for the environment and they're cheaper. So it's lowering cost of electronics, which is quite good. The placements were fantastic. I got to work with PhD students and academics during the summer. It gives you a really good alternate perspective on things, and they set me up in a really good way for my master's project, because it meant when I went into my master's, I knew a lot about how the equipment worked already, and so they were fantastic and really useful.
Apart from the opportunity to do some real scientific research here at Leeds, our students get a lot from such a research placement. For example, they gain a lot of research skills. When you're working in a research environment, you use so many different skills than the ones that you use as a student during term time. And in addition, our students work in a group for 8 to 10 weeks in a real research group, and that will stand their career in very good stead later on in life.
So I did a summer placement over summer, obviously, which was funded by the department. And it was in astrophysics department, and I was looking at something called H2 regions, which are gaseous ionized regions in space. The project was a small bit of research I did with another academic in the department, and it was a bit of research that hadn't been done before. So it was quite good to get on with doing something that hadn't been done before. It was a bit of a rush, really. And that lasted 8 weeks. I thoroughly enjoyed my placement. I learned a lot of new skills that I will value for the rest of my life, and it has definitely is an experience that will help me decide my career path in the future.
All of the summer students that I've had have been excellent students and have really contributed to the group. A particular example that I think shows how the summer studentship scheme could be advantageous to the students as well as to the academics would be Florence Ben. She worked with me on the spring crossover project, and part of that she had to develop or use a technique called ultra-high vacuum scanning tunneling microscopy. This is a complex bit of kit. It costs probably about £300,000 or £400,000 to buy one of these pieces of kit. And so her first job was to learn how to use it. She then had to develop how we can look at individual molecules and self-assemble these molecules on surfaces. So she did this during the summer at the end of her second year period, and she was going to do the year abroad in the US, and she went to Berkeley and to do her year abroad. And during this period, she actually found out that they had a similar instrument to the one she'd been using in Leeds. And she went to ask them whether she might have access and to do some research with them, explaining and describing her project. So they were a bit doubtful of whether an undergraduate could really come into the program and do this. So they made her give a presentation about her project, and they were suitably impressed. And they said there's only one stumbling block, and that is our piece of kit has never actually worked, or has not been working for several years. And so Flo miraculously actually got their kit working for them, and was subsequently allowed, obviously, access to the kit to carry on doing some research. But I think it's a great example of where even the graduate level students at Berkeley hadn't managed to do this, and one of our second year undergraduates came in to the rescue, as it were.